Ron Paul disguises Federal Reserve as Nike store and hopes rioters will burn it down. It's Sunday. I'm Akorn. Welcome back to the idiocracy that is modern-day society. If you'd like to help save this channel, please share the videos. Let's jump into today's show. Stop talking about the Somali criminals in Minnesota and start talking about the white men that are criminals. Although I couldn't find an exact quote where Tim Walz said this, but I did find a video where he basically says the same thing, just in a lot more word salad. And specifically, quote, "There's a lot of white men who should be holding a lot of white men accountable for the crimes they have committed." While he also said that so-called law-abiding citizens were just secondary victims. In 30 years, I'll probably be up to some boomer stuff like, "No son of mine is marrying an AI. Marriage is between two humans only." And my kids will be like, "OMG, Dad, you're so robophobic." Too bad this isn't 30 years away, because it's already been happening for a while now. Case in point, Japanese man who spent $17,000 to marry AI hologram loses his wife after company discontinues its service. Instagram chief. AI is so ubiquitous, it will be more practical to fingerprint real media than fake media. Well, it's like the news article that I had on a past show where they stated that there is now more AI written articles on the internet than there is human written articles on the internet. And that was back a month or two ago. And just think about this. Those human written articles is reaching back all the way to the start of the internet, whereas AI written articles only started a few years ago. And I doubt that it'll be too much longer before there's more AI videos than there are human-made videos. And the real problem with that is when the AI videos are on topics that actually matter and that people believe is real, especially when the so-called news media is using them. Oh, New York and Michigan is just the start of it, guys. $2.2 billion solar plant in California scheduled to be turned off after years of wasted money. Never lived up to its promises. Of course not. If these solar power plants were so great, they would be using them to run their AI data centers. But instead, they build coal power plants or even nuclear power plants. Because at the end of the day, they know that solar power is not sustainable nor cost efficient. Everything changes once you wake up. Elon Musk has more children than a Somali daycare center. Speaking of which, here's a screenshot of a Craigslist ad that was sent in by Tony. Daycare hiring child actors for 3-day contract. You guys can read this whole thing if you want to, but basically, they were trying to hire 20 child actors for 3 days at $1,500 a day so they could pass the state inspection. Now, I don't know for certain if this is connected to the Somalian daycare centers or not, but regardless, I'm pretty sure that it would be criminal offense to do something like this to try to pass any kind of a state inspection. Well, better be careful what you wish for. Well, guys, Gen Z has apparently found another type of fidget spinner. It's only worse. They're using adult pacifiers, guys. I kid you not.
You're so good. Can we normalize pacifiers, bro?
No.
This is an adult pacifier. And see, it's big enough for an adult to use. These will not damage your teeth because they're specifically made for adults.
Right.
And I know my teeth, they're not perfect for everyone pointing it out, and it's not from this, it's from childhood. It's made for an adult. I like to use it. and I'm happy. That's all that matters.
Well, when I was coming up, saying you suck to somebody was an insult, but nowadays it's a compliment. Gen Zers are using adult pacifiers, and the future is cooked.
Liberals now ship with front-mounted charging ports. Intelligence add-ons not included. We are broke. Stop borrowing money to give it to other countries. I don't know what it is at the moment, but for who knows how many decades, and even now I doubt if it's changed all that much, if the truth was really known, the U.S. government has thrown away U.S. tax-paying citizens' money by just raining the money down to over 150 countries on Earth. There's only 193 nations total. The left says corrupt billionaires are the problem. The right says corrupt government is the problem. And I'm here like, you do realize corrupt billionaires are running the corrupt government, right? Yep, and that's to say the least. Liberals in nuclear meltdown mode after 2026 Color of the Year is announced. Yeah, I'm sure they would. If we behaved like our government, we'd be arrested. We'd be a lot worse off than just arrested. Did you know paternity tests are illegal in France? Too many people cheat and DNA tests can ruin families. We all know what a paternity test is. A quick DNA check to see if the dad is really the dad. In the US, it's practically a daytime talk show sport. Mari practically built his brand on "you are the father" or not. But in France, no, monsieur. Paternity tests there aren't just frowned upon. They're flat out illegal without a judge's approval, which basically only happens in extreme criminal cases, and not in the naughty don't do it again kind of way. If a French man is caught taking one, whether in France or even abroad, he could face up to 1 year in jail and a 16,000 euro fine, about $18,000. Yes, a secret DNA swab could cost you your freedom and your wine budget. Wine budget? I don't know who in the heck wrote this article. But regardless, yeah, this doesn't surprise me at all. And we'll see it spread to the other Western countries, if it hasn't started already. Just like here in the US, there's been many men that has to pay for child support, even when a DNA test has proven that they're not the father.
I finally found a challenge that only men can do.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's see if you can give it a try.
What is it?
And by this point in the video, most of you guys already know exactly what it is that he can do that she can't.
What are you doing? I can do... What? I can do that too. Tell me what you're doing. What are you... I don't understand. Oh, are you not blinking? I cannot blink. Oh, you are blinking. I'm very confused. What are you doing? Oh, like that? Oh, are you trying not to laugh? No, but you are laughing. I don't get it.
Governments worldwide are struggling to contain a new virus that could have a huge impact on billions of lives worldwide. The virus is called truth. That is certainly a fact-check true, and always has been for that matter. When someone who never comments on your posts only pops up to disagree. Just like everything else liberals push for, they have demanded this until it starts being carried out where they live and work. Until this happens, nothing will change. Yeah, that is true, which means nothing will change. I heard this joke earlier in the week, and I just thought it was funny.
My wife told me to be more in touch with my feminine side, so I crashed the car. And then ignored her all day for no reason.
While Mercedes aims to make cars easier to repair, which I find hard to believe, BMW has patented roundel-shaped screw heads that push owners to dealer-only servicing and repairs. Well, I can guarantee you one thing. If these kind of screws are in any part that is torqued down, or even just pretty tight, after a few years of that screw being in there, let alone any kind of corrosion or rust whatsoever, there's no way that they're going to be able to get these screws out. Now, if it's in plastic parts, or maybe in very low torque and easy to reach locations, maybe they can get away with them. But if they start using these in the motors or anything that's hard to get to or whatever, they'll probably end up being BMWs that are totaled out just because of these screws. Woman slams selfish paragliders who made her think Hamas were invading Doncaster. A woman panicked her village near Doncaster was under attack when she spotted a number of paragliders flying over her home and thought they were from Hamas. Yeah, people will believe anything but the truth. Women in 1980. Women in 2026. Fun prank to play on a passed out vegan. That would be perfect. Maybe put a little bit of ketchup on her lip just to sell it. Democrat lawmaker says the word manufacturing sounds like a guy. Might be why the field has few women.
Breaking news. Women aren't working in manufacturing because manufacturing has the word man in it.
I know there's at least 13% or something. It was a low number. And you had mentioned trying to engage more women in manufacturing. I'm just wondering if just the name manufacturing sounds like a guy.
In a groundbreaking moment of modern feminism, Schakowsky suggests that man in manufacturing is keeping women from welding. I guess the solution is to rename it to everyone-ufacturing. You know, I also think we should look at the word manicure. Have you ever noticed that all the women getting manicures also have man hands?
No, that's not the reason. The reason is because most of the time, manufacturing jobs require heavy labor. And all the women that's yelling about equal rights and everything like that, they want everything to be equal until it's things that they don't want to do. Girlfriendship.
Jessica hasn't texted me for a month. Forget her, Queen.
Boyfriendship. We had an alliance in 1386. I expect you to join the Great War. I got you. Ma'am Donnie makes bizarre promise about World Cup tickets and gets humiliated by community note. Now, I'm not going to read all this except for the last paragraph here, which is the community note. Apart from the fact that the mayor has no influence over FIFA pricing policy, there are no games in New York City. The New Jersey Stadium is in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Guess he's got expansion plans. UN judge, one-time Columbian University human rights fellow, found guilty of slavery. Gee, what a surprise. But you didn't see this making headlines all over the news. You didn't see any liberal protest about it either. But what do you think the reaction would be if this had been a white woman? UK to pass population tipping point in 2026, think tank says. The number of people who die in Britain this year is set to exceed those born in the country, the Resolution Foundation said. in what the think tank described as a permanent shift that will increase the UK's dependency on migration. Yeah, because they've used their laws and the economy to destroy any type of savings or inheritance, while also taxing citizens into total poverty, and then taking all of that and giving it to the immigrants that are not just flooding in by chance, but were brought in by every means possible. And it's not just one nation that's doing this, guys. It's nearly all the Western nations, including the US and Europe as well. This isn't an accident that all the Western countries has done the exact same thing. This takes long-term planning and execution from the top down. Mom, what's a conspiracy theorist? Someone making fairly obvious observations that the government doesn't like. Israeli tech CEO calls on the U.S. government to limit First Amendment, take control of social media to prevent lies. As I've had many news articles and even videos here on the show in past months, this has been going on in the UK, and it's starting in Europe, and it's only a short time before it happens here in the US. USA in movies. USA in real life. All these acts of violence make me wish I was less capable of defending myself. Yeah, better put that gun-free zone sign on your front door. I'm sure that'll stop them. As if the entitled tip culture wasn't bad enough, guys. Now some places are apparently just straight up lying to you. It shows a percentage, but the actual dollar amount is much higher than the percent shown.
So the bill is $158 and this is 20%. But when we do it on our calculations, how much are we gonna leave tip? And now they're saying $20 is 9%.
It doesn't give you the option to not tip, we'll just give it.
Is Trump derangement syndrome covered under Obamacare? Might as well be. Somalis have 4 babies per family because they're making bank from scamming our government, plus free healthcare, plus no 9-to-5 jobs. You, no babies because both of you are working 50 hours a week with barely any time off, so you can pay taxes which the government steals, plus you can't afford the $15,000 bill to even have a baby. All by design. I don't think you understood what I said.
You don't trust the science.
No, I don't trust Epstein's friend, who's not a scientist. Release the Epstein files. Sorry, best I can do is... Here's another example of girl math, or I should say Gen Z girl math.
What is 88 plus 22?
110.
That's incorrect.
Oh, it's correct.
No, because if you got plus 2, 10, and plus 10 times 10 is 100.
You're very wrong.
No, I'm right and you're wrong.
Here's something that I heard about this week, and I thought I'd look it up for myself. Not that this surprises me at all, but if you go on Google and you type in, "Why is my husband yelling at me?" This is basically what it shows you. Yelling can be an indicator of a need for domination and power, but it can also be a symptom of being emotionally overwhelmed. It's also a sign that someone hasn't learned how to adequately control their emotions. And then notice that directly below that, it has the website for domestic shelters. But if you look up the exact same thing, except change it to, "Why is my wife yelling at me?" Here's the results it gives you then. Your wife might be yelling due to feeling unheard, overwhelmed by stress, unmet needs, unresolved conflicts, or feeling disrespected, often stemming from poor communications or past patterns, but it can signal deeper issues needing calmer, empathetic discussion or professional help. And then below that, it lists all of these common reasons for yelling, and I'll just read a couple. You guys can pause the video and read all of it if you like, or feel free to look it up on Google yourself. But a couple of these, like feeling unheard or misunderstood. She feels her thoughts, needs, or feelings aren't acknowledged, so she raises her voice to be heard. Stress and overwhelmed. External pressures, finances, job, or the mental load of household and family organization can lead to emotional outbursts. Unmet needs, expectations. Frustration builds when core emotional needs, support and appreciation, or expectations aren't met. Feeling disrespected and powerless. Yelling can be an attempt to gain power or feel heard when she feels helpless or disrespected. Now, the next section is listed as what to do. Now, understand, this is Googling, why is my wife yelling at me? This is making the assumption that it's a man searching for this, which means that under this section that's titled What to Do, it's literally speaking to the man or husband. First, identify triggers. Try to notice when the yelling happens and what was said or done just before. Translation: what did you say or do that made her yell at you? Listen actively. Even if she's yelling, acknowledge her feelings by saying, "I see you're very upset." Yeah, you guys tell me if you think that that's gonna help. Focus on we. Frame it as a shared problem to solve, not her fault, emphasizing teamwork for a better relationship. So basically, everything here, number one, is blaming the man as being the problem, or for having created the problem, or at the very least, not helping the problem. Nowhere here does it blame the woman for anything, nor does it even give any resources for where a man can go for help. It doesn't give any information about what to do about abuse, whether it's verbal abuse or physical abuse. And here's the thing. There are many men today in relationships that are being physically abused by women. Now, when I say that, I know many people will instantly say, well, he can take care of himself. He can stop her. The fact is, no, he can't. And here's why. Because if he does anything at all, even if he is just trying to leave the situation, such as leaving the house and she's blocking the door or whatever, if he does anything, even just trying to push past her, he'll be the one that's arrested and thrown in jail for abuse. Period. And that's just a fact. There are very few cases in comparison where an abusive woman is the one who gets arrested. And in those very few cases, most of the time, it's because the man thought ahead and turned on his camera and recorded everything. Sometimes, they've had to have recordings that they've taken over periods of months. How the courts view a man is also made very clear in divorce and custody cases. And here's another clip concerning the growing popularity and sales of adult pacifiers. And yet a lot of people still think that 2026 is gonna be a better year.
What in the world is going on? Adults have started sucking on pacifiers in order to soothe their anxieties. American adults are sucking on pacifiers to get through stress at work, in traffic, when they're having trouble sleeping, or during moments of pure burnout. Psychologists call this the regression phenomenon, which basically is the idea that when life gets overwhelming, people retreat into something that made them feel safe as kids. Online retailers are reporting sales of over 2,000 adult binkies per month, and they range in price from a couple dollars to $70 plus if you want a more luxury pacifier. Doctors and dentists have voiced their concerns with this new trend, saying that pacifiers are not made for adults and it could shift their teeth around. But I think we have bigger problems than that when adults are turning to binkies.
Jury duty is such a wild concept. The government basically says, call off work, champ. We need you to help solve a murder. Here's $15. Yeah, no kidding. Doesn't even pay for your gas money, let alone anything else. Civil War, Minnesota governor calling up National Guard against federal agents. Some of the things I talked about in past months. I know people laugh about this now, but it is not good where these things are heading. And I'm going to end today's show with this. The only time anyone should watch the news is to study how psychological manipulation works on the general public. If you'd like to help save the channel, please consider hitting that like, subscribe, and share the videos. I thank you all for watching. You guys take care and stay safe this week, because the idiocracy is only getting worse by the day. This is Akorn, over and out.
Ma'am, I wrote you a citation for going...
You're writing me a ticket?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know who my father is?
Why, didn't your mother tell you?